What's going on, guys? Welcome to HAMLET Gaming. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I am bringing to you today a first look video to Foundation. Now, Foundation came out on closed alpha today. Primarily, it's an organic RTS builder game. So primarily, we're doing an RTS where we're building a city. But the good thing about this one, and the kind of interesting aspect of this one, is that's an organic one where the actual AI develops their own pathways, develops where they build their houses, when they upgrade, so on and so on. All you're made to do is actually utilize and provide enough resources to continue on. So during my gameplay today, I actually did around a 5-hour, 6-hour stream of Foundation. I had a fantastic time doing it. So I wanted to bring you this first look video just to see exactly what you get. So Foundation here, a little bit of a blurb from the developer saying that it's an alpha. Leave it at that. So the main thing that we got to start doing now, I didn't realize I just bought that, but we'll start here. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to exit this right here. So main thing you have to do is that you're given a very, very large map. Originally, there is a little placement here, it looks like a honeycomb, that you're actually able to buy a land. What you want to look for, and usually the lands that buy will always have one or both of these, where it's berries, which is referred to as that, and stone, which is referred to as that. I kind of screwed up here because I don't actually have a lot of trees, so this is going to be an interesting start. But primarily, you're looking for trees as well, which provide wood. So what you want to do when you start building stuff like this, when you bought the actual land, which I've just done, is you want to put down a village center. So this is where you actually are initiating, hey, listen, this is where my main village is going to go. We're going to put our village center right down here. And now all of a sudden, we get a bunch of these little mini-me people here. By the way, rest in peace, mini-me. We get a bunch of these little guys here. Now, unfortunately, at this point in time, they're not really doing anything. All we're doing is that we're wasting time. I recommend when you get to this view that you pause the game and you open up the actual villager list, which is this little button right here. This provides you a villager list of the people that you have. Right now, as you can tell, they don't have a job. Your main thing is you're going to click on them and you're going to make them builders. Builders is what you want them to do right now, because what this allows them to do is that anything that you implement as a workplace, they will start doing it, because frankly, why the hell not? So we're going to put every one of these guys in builders, and we're going to call it there Bob's Your Uncle. Now, while you're still in pause menu, you want to go over here to this little hammer button here, because now you've put the town city down, now you have a bunch of access to a bunch of other buildings. So what we want to do and what we want to look for, one is a woodcutter camp. So because of the positioning I have this, I'm going to put my woodcutter camp right over here to build over there. We also want to do a market or a gatherer's camp. The gatherer's camp you want to put near these little actual shrooms. This is where you're going to get your berries. This is where you're going to get your food for your people. So you want to put that there. And what you can do is you can leave it from there. Start the time and let them build. Because they're all builders, what they're going to do is they're going to grab the appropriate resources and they're going to go to where they need to go. But here's where the addition to being a very fancy RTS game comes in handy. Obviously, there's a bunch of builders here. They don't have any houses. Well, let's specify an area where they can build their own houses. So we go over here to this paint tool, and you see we have residential extraction and forbidden lands. What we're going to do is that we're going to paint a little area for these guys to be able to build in. So we're going to say, okay, guys, if you're going to come into our area, if you're going to come into our land, because obviously we're allowing you to come into our land, this is where I want you to build your houses. And I'm not going to take no for an answer. That's where it's going to be building, okay? You can shut your goddamn faces out. This is where you're going to do it. Let's press play again, and you'll see all of a sudden that we get these little random little pop-ups coming up here. What this is that it's these guys actually building their houses. Whenever you get any two immigrants is what they're referred to in this game. So meaning here, on the 6 days, I'm going to get 2 immigrants. Another 6 days after that, I'm going to get more. Another 6 days after that, I'm going to get more. Depicting on how your happiness is. So if your happiness is below 100 and very low, it's going to take you a lot more days to be able to get any immigrants, or meaning new actual townsfolks. Whether if it's at 100% or 100 like it is right now, we're going to get them and see them very frequently. So you want to be cautious on that. One thing about your icons up here, specifically your tools icon, one is you have your gold. This is the generation of how much money your town is making. 2 is your wood, obviously pretty self-explanatory. Then you have your berries, which is your gather stuff that we pointed out here. These are things that are not implemented in the game as of yet, so I can't make any assumptions to those right now. But there's labor, there's fealty, and there's also piety, which obviously we're going to go into religion status. The one tool that you really need to look at here and be very cautious for is your actual tool. If this runs out and you do not have a trade network in place, you're pretty much at a stalemate. What we want to do is we obviously want to get this thing built. We want to get our woodcutters built, which these guys are doing right now. You can speed this up a little bit more if you want to. And what happens is that when these are finally built, For example, the gatherer's hut is built. Okay, well now I'm going to take one person and they're going to be my gatherer. So now I have one person gathering. My wood cutter here is also complete. So we're going to go over here. We're going to say, okay, now I want a woodcutter. So what you're doing now is you're telling people, okay, now you're going to be my little gatherer. And I love this the most because they're just little people and they change their icons. Now, here's one thing to keep in mind. I've got screwed over with this and it's not fun. I've selected this guy to be my gatherer. I've selected this guy to be my woodcutter. The problem is, they don't know what the hell they're extracting. So this is where the blue extraction comes in handy. Because now you say, okay, you're going to extract this. And for the wood guy here, you're going to extract all of these trees. Why? Because you're my wood guy. And frankly, you need to extract every single one of these trees. Because I need logs. That's exactly how this is going to work. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And what he's going to do, he's going to go cut these down, and the gatherer is going to go capture this. So if we go press play again, you'll notice this guy is now going to go start chopping down trees. You see that one shaking over there, and the gatherer, who's waiting for his house to get built, unfortunately, is going to go back and gather some berries, because that's exactly what we need. So we have that online now. So we have berries, we have wood. Couple of things that we also want to be able to specify, because there's people are going to request something. They're going to have needs. They want berries, they're going to want water, they're going to want clothing, they're going to want bread, so on and so on. But to begin things off, they're going to also want water. So I usually like taking a well, very standard, very simple. I'm just going to put a well right in the middle there. This well will provide water. But in the meantime, that well also requires 5 stone. It's 10 lumber and 5 stone. Meaning, I don't have a stone cutter. So let's go to a stone cutter camp. This is where you see the resources needed to build this. It's 10 wood and 5 tools. Again, be very cautious with the amount of tools that you have. You run out when you don't have a trade in place, you will have problems. So we're going to go with a stone cutter's camp. Hold down control to kind of turn it around if you want. And we're going to implement one there. And as you can see, by the way, these guys are building houses. These guys have come into my town and they're starting to build their own houses. I haven't touched them. And the other little cool thing that I love about it is that people will always use a one-track route to go to wherever it is that they need to go. Either the easiest route, or if you put down fences, they'll follow those fences. The more and more they use those routes, the more and more you'll start seeing paths happening. Because let's face it, when you use something over and over and over again consistently, you deprive it. You eventually start making that actual little so-be pathway into an actual pathway because of the amount of times you're utilizing it. So I kind of like that as a little bit of addition to the game. It kind of adds a little bit of a nuance, because now your town, when you start building up more, you now have roads that you never built. These were built by your townsfolk, which is fantastic. It really sets that mood of an organic build. Now, personally, I like to have 2 gatherers and 2 woodcutters for the time being. Actually, yeah, 2 woodcutters for the time being, just to kind of speed things up a little bit. Let's go a little bit faster here. And what we're going to do is, again, we're going to have finish a stone cutter here, and then we're going to do some stone cutters to be able to utilize that. The main resources you want to have to begin with is your berries and your water, which is the main focus here. Lumber and stone are fantastic for building. That's exactly what you're looking to get. Now, as we progress in this, we can see that you start getting more villagers coming to your town. Obviously, I've surpassed the 6-day limit, so what's going on is that now I'm getting actual people who are going to come to my town. Now, as you can tell, my people are starting to lose happiness. Why? Because they're lacking berries and they're lacking water. One thing you need to understand, just because you have a gatherer's hut doesn't necessarily mean that this is providing berries to your people. What you do need is a market gathering. What this advises is that the gatherer will bring his berries here, and the people in town, we're going to come over here and grab the berries from him. So you want to build one of those early on. Otherwise, you're going to have this issue where people are starting to lack a certain necessity that they're requiring. Now, we see here our secondary people are coming in. These are the 2 individuals that came into our area. And what they're going to do is they're going to see about picking the supplies up, and they're going to build their own house. That's how it usually works. Primarily, you'll have 2 people per house. So when you get more villagers coming in, they will build more additional houses. So the more happier your people are, the better your chances are to actually having a lot of houses be built up. Now you see we having another house that was built over there. We're having our actual stone cutters who's being built over here. That's taking its time, surprisingly enough. I don't know why it's taking so much time to build that. Now we have Anna and we have Victor, who are new people here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put one of them on woodcutter, one of them on builder, because I need more wood for the time being, because at this point in time I need to build a couple of things like my stone cutters, and then we're going to build the actual gatherer's hut, because at this point in time I'm losing happiness, and that's no good. That is no good. It's no good. So we're going to speed this up a little bit more to see how these guys work here. So this guy's going to be getting this place in operation. Hopefully it should be done relatively soon. I only require 8 more or 2 more logs right there. And this place here, which is our gatherer's hut, I'm going to make a priority here so I can get 10 logs on here. Now, there we go. So now we have our stone cutters available. So now what we can do is we can go pause. Obviously, this is over here. We can assign some workers on this. We have a lot of builders, which you don't need. But let's go put 2 stone cutters on here. And what this does is that this will get the stone. But remember, guys, if you're going to do this, you have to go to the paint tool and specify what you're extracting. So I'm extracting this stone here. So that tells it that now this is what I'm looking to extract. Otherwise, they'll go there and be like, they'll see stone on the floor, but they'll be like, I'm confused. So now these guys are going to go over here with their pickaxes, and now they're going to bash these stones, and then we're going to start developing more stone, which is fantastic. We have our marketplace, and we have our marketplace going here, and as you can clearly tell, I've gotten a lot of people very unhappy at this point in time. Now, the problem here is that if the more people who are unhappy, they're going to leave your town. So you got to be very cautious on that. And as you can tell, because of the amount of unhappiness I'm getting, I'm now getting happiness is raised, 36 raise time. So now I'm getting a lot more probability that I'm not going to get an actual, I'm not going to get 2 more people coming to my town because of how low my happiness is. Because trust me, if they're unhappy, why would they want to come to my town? But I will say, I really do love the look of this game. I love the little mechanics that this game utilizes, the little people that they utilize as well. It's actually it's a very cute little game. And honestly, they've done a fantastic job at doing an organic city builder. Even these little guys who walk around back and forth, they just have a little sense of character to them. And honestly, I love that. I really hope these guys, okay, so we have a well now, which is fantastic. People can satisfy their need for water. And now we have a marketplace. And if you go to the actual people, you'll see the newcomer needs, okay, they want berries and they want water. They want lodging. The lodging is filled because they built their own houses. We don't have a well. We have a well now. So if I would go back and actually just go here, all of a sudden their well is filled. And now I need an actual marketer. So what happens now is that I have to go back over here. We're going to go to one of our builders and we're going to make one of these guys a market tender. Now the market tender will always be at the market and be the one who's giving out berries to individuals. Now, when you start the game, obviously this is alpha stage, this one tells you to reach a weekly profit of 500. So far I'm minus 10 because of the stuff that I've had to purchase, but that's fine. When you get to that, you unlock a trade route. This is the trade route that I was telling you about. So the main buildings you want to build for the time being are your gatherer's hut, are your stone cutters, are your well, your actual gatherer's market, and you want to do the woodcutter's camp. But that's not all, because the other one you want to do is a sawmill, because the sawmill will provide you planks, and planks are very important for much larger buildings. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a sawmill as well, and I believe the sawmill only requires 10 stone and 20 lumber, which is exactly what we have. Now, as time progresses, what will happen is that your villagers will want to upgrade their houses. If they're very happy with the way things are going, they're going to want to upgrade. Now, because we want to utilize the actual resources around here for what we want, I'm not going to allow them to upgrade right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn that off. By turning off one of them, it turns off all of them, which is fantastic. You don't need all of them on. If you leave it on, what happens is when they're able to upgrade, they will now go and they will grab their own planks and upgrade their houses, which can be very taxing to your resources, especially if you're running low on them. So you want to be very careful when it comes to that. And now we can tell our happiness is actually going up. You can see a live counter there if it goes up. So you'll see that people lack berries. Well, people are getting berries, so the berry counter in lacking is actually going up, and our happiness is also going up, which is something that we want. So at this point in time, we're in a position where we're actually decent for the time being. So let's fast forward a little bit and actually see how far we can make it. So now that we've actually expanded our city a little bit more, we got 2 more people who came in or building the house over there. We got a new mission where we can actually build a Lord Manor. Now, this is where one of these very fancy buildings comes in place. Now, I'm not going to do the Lord Manor right now because I do require more tools to be able to utilize a fishing or a trading to be able to receive more tools. But what I will do, because I have an individual now, I will be assigning these 2 to be able to do my plankers, meaning that they're going to take the wood available here and make planks out of them. Very important for the resource cutter there, so you want to be able to get some planks coming in, because again, those planks are what's going to be utilized to give you much better buildings down the line. Now, as your village begins to grow, these people will start building little things around their houses. As you can see, little huts like this, little tables outside there. This is just what they do. Primarily, I believe it's just something that they do when they want to to upgrade their house a tad bit. Now these guys are level 2. Now he's not actually building more on his house, but nonetheless he's doing what he's doing here. What we're going to do now is that we've unlocked a few more houses, meaning we have a farm, a windmill, a bakery, and a market. Now this one's a market for bread specifically. Bread is a very big important aspect here, so you need to watch out for that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to click on this little button here and see what's fertile around here. Now we notice there's a lot of fertile lands over here, meaning that we can actually build a farm over here, which is something that we're going to do. Again, we require tools for this, so we need to be very careful. Now, we're actually unlocking a lot of things here. Now, we've also unlocked a decorative bush, a decorative tree, and a fence. Primarily, this is more along the lines of people are joining our town. Our town is actually very happy. As you can see, the berries and the water has given us a lot of happiness here, which is very important. So people are coming in and now they're building their own little places here, which is fantastic. This is what we wanted. Now I'm going to assign one worker to my production food here. There's multiple ways you can do this. You can actually click on the worker and assign them specifically on here, or if they have no job, you can actually go to the area that requires a job and just click assign available villager, and they'll do that automatically. This place is going to assign 5 workers, so I'm not going to be doing that. And over here we have 3, and then we have 2 over there, so that's perfectly fine. What we're going to do right now, because we're generating a decent amount of weekly profit, I actually want to be able to develop something that's going to give me something along the way. Now, we can also do a farm here, which will provide us a decent amount of actual tools. My thing is that we can build a farm right now, which we have to use 10 tools to build it. The problem is the farm will provide you wheat, which is fantastic, but without a windmill that requires 10 additional tools, which I don't have, it's not going to help out. And then without a bakery, it's not going to help out because the windmill turns the wheat into flour, then the bakery turns the flour into bread. So you've got to be very cautious about the tools, because this is where, again, this comes in handy. But what we're going to build next is actually a warehouse. The warehouse is a place where it stores actual goods for your town. What that means is that it's utilized as a trade route, plus also utilized as a storage facility. And I'll go into more details once it gets built. And you can tell already our trees are dimming down. Like I said, this was a bad position to start this place in, but that's fine because we're going to work with this. And I'll show you what we can do. So once we actually hit our goal of 500 gold here, we'll show you what I'm able to do. By hitting 500 gold, I'm able to go to this little territory badge here, and I can say, listen, I want to buy this land. And there we go. We just bought it for 500 gold. What this does is that now I have all these trees I can work with. So I'm going to go back to my tool here, my extraction tool. I'll hold down Alt Control so we can actually get a bigger cursor, and now we're going to take all of these trees. What this has done is that it's allowed me to now get a lot more resources around me, and that's exactly what I want. And that's fantastic, because what I want to focus on is building the town in this area and resource gathering in that area. It's cost a lot of money to be able to buy that, but frankly, in the beginning stages, that's perfectly fine. Do it, it's all good. Now we have a warehouse. Now the warehouse, I don't have any workers here available for it at this point in time. 1, 2, 3, how many builders do I have? I have 2 builders. We have 3 stone cutters. Let's actually make one of these stone cutters an actual transporter. You know what, actually, no, take them off. Let's make one of these guys. So Amelia is going to be our transporter for the warehouse. What you do in this warehouse is pretty much you're telling it you're either refusing to add this to the warehouse, so you're not stocking this, so this actually will go to any other area. And in my honest opinion, anything food related like flour, berries, bread, and wheat, don't put in the warehouse. The only reason I say that is because a lot of this gets moved around from different resource buildings to different resource buildings, and you want to keep those moving around. So don't add any of that. What you can add is you can accept tools, you can accept stone, you can accept wood, and accept planks. I usually say that. You can say stock maximum, meaning they continuously will stock in here and utilize it for trading goods. The issue is that sometimes they'll stock it in here and not utilize it for your own builds. So I just say accepting, that way they'll stock it, but if they need to use it, they will use it after the fact. Again, we are getting more villagers to the town, which is fantastic because we do need more people in here. And as you can tell, our happiness is fantastic. It's going up there. But the more and more that we actually start expanding our city, you can tell now people can't find bread, meaning they're going to want a trade route, meaning I have to build farms, meaning I have to get wheat, meaning I have to get a windmill, meaning I have to get a bakery to generate bread. Thankfully, though, the bread isn't a big issue right now. You can work around that for the time being, but down the line, you will require a lot of bread, so be very cautious on that. And now, as we watch our actual little town kind of working its way, little ants and everything around here, it's fantastic, it's nice. We can actually kind of work our way here and kind of get this little greenery here. We had unlocked a little special decorative bush and decorative trees. This is honestly little kind of things that you can put throughout here to make your houses just look that extra special. It's nothing really big, it really isn't, but it's just something to give it a little bit more of an appeal. It's something very small, something very organic about it, and you can also do decorative trees. These don't cost anything, so might as well just put them in. Why not? You have nothing to lose here. It's honestly something just to make your town look that much more prettier, and I'll show you, because once I install these on these little houses, obviously these people love these little houses, obviously like little trees, you can tell already that it's become a lot more fuller, and these places look that much more appealing, specifically for people who are building actual around here. And there you go. This place is starting to actually liven up a little bit more. Now we can also put some over here, because I didn't realize the houses were also built over here. These houses are built on a very big hill here, so obviously a little bit of it is cut off. This person has to actually like duck when he enters his house, kind of. Apparently that's the way that he wanted it. That's the way, he wanted it. And as you can tell, we're now building up this place, which looks absolutely that much more better with all of these bushes, all of these trees in place. It just looks fantastic. There you go. So this place is now building up. It's a small little addition to the game, but frankly, it works very well. Now, you'll notice, too, that we have a lot of jobs available now because we had a lot of people come in. Now, because I still have some places here that require workers, okay, I can put 2 in my stone area here. I can't do anybody in there. I can't do anybody in there. Gatherers, everyone is filled over there. And you can tell, when you click on this, you'll see 3 of 3 workers assigned. I can't put anyone there. 2 of 2. I can't put anyone there. So at this point in time, I have 2 other workers who can't do anything, so I'm going to assign them to builders for the time being, because at this point in time, I don't have anything available for them. So they're going to be just builders for now. And we're just going to wait to get more resources. We're speeding through this right now. We are on week 8. We're on day 1. And we got more guys coming in right now too, which again, we're just expanding here. They're going to build their own house because we're doing so fantastic when it comes to our resources. That's why we're getting so many more people coming in. And the more people that come in, the more profits that we start to get. And the benefit about that is that now we're going to get a trade route, and that trade route is going to help us out a lot. So primarily my main concern right now is getting enough weekly profit to be able to actually generate or finish this mission. So at this point in time, I'm making what, 416. Usually what this means is that the more people that are coming in, this weekly profit means the more people that are coming in, they're buying actual berries from your market here. So the more people you get, the higher probability they're going to be buying more berries, which means more funding for you. So I believe we got 2 new people that are building a house over here. I believe this will put us over that mark, and it'll give us a free trade route. So we'll see. We're on day 6 right now, week 9. We are at 410. We're at 450. We're getting there. We're so close. Come on, a couple of other people coming in. We obviously spent money there for some reason. I don't necessarily know exactly why. There we go. So we now hit that actual trade. So now we should be able to unlock a trade route. Plus, we should also be able to lock on free actual territory. With that first achievement, you do get a free territory. But we also get a trade route, which is one of the more better things. Now, how to unlock a trade route? Primarily, one of the reasons why you decide to build planks is for this little button here, because now we can use this plank to unlock a trade route, which is what we're going to do. Tools are enabled. That's fantastic. We're going to go to trading resources, and what we want to trade, we want to buy tools. This is the main thing we want to buy. I usually like putting this at 20 or 30, depending on how many you want to buy. What do we want to sell? Well, what do we have excessive amounts on? We have excessive amounts on actual planks. So let's sell a couple of planks. We'll do 10 of those. We have wood. Let's sell a couple of wood as well. Might as well. My own thing is that unless you are completely overpacked with food, do not sell your food. That is a big no-no. Don't sell that. And we'll buy... we'll sell our actual rock. That's what we don't need. Everything else, keep as is. What we've just done is now we've developed a trade route to a neighboring city. What that means is that we can now start beginning to get tools in place. Meaning, I can now go over here and I can build my farm. Because I wanted to build this farm originally, but I didn't want to do it without having tools in place. Meaning, now I can build this farm. I'm going to have my own farmers. From there, I can build a windmill and a bakery to generate some bread. And you'll see these guys walk over here, and you can already see a very faint kind of walkway going in progress here, which is fascinating. I love that. Like I said, it's a simple little addition, but it's a great little addition. And you can tell these guys are working. These guys are building houses. We're going to be getting more people relatively soon. You see the whole concept of cannot find bread is still very little. They give you some type of leeway when it comes to how quick you can get bread. But nonetheless, we're going to get bread. And by unlocking a trade route that I just did, means I get a free territory. So I get to go anywhere around here and pick what territory I would like to pick. And the one I'm going to pick is this one. Why? Because it has a lot of land, it has a lot of trees, and it has this little hill, which we can eventually build our manor or a church on. And I will show you how those guys work in later on. But now we have a farm, which means I can take a couple of builders that I had previously, and now I can make them into my farmers. I'm going to make 2 farmers here. I believe you can only do 2 at this point in time. Oh, actually, let's get out of this. I don't need to buy more land. You can do 3 farmers, actually, so we're going to do 1 more farmer. And what's going to happen here, because, again, the farmers are here, but do they know where to actually farm? No. So now you got to go to your paint development tool, and you'll see you have a new one now, which is called Farm Paint. You want to make sure that you paint on the actual fertilized areas. And the reason why is because you're going to get the best yield of crops in that manner. This is where you want to get it. And you can reach it down there if you want. Doesn't matter. Follow it along. Because what's going to happen is that these guys are generating wheat. The wheat eventually will be utilized in mill to generate flour. And then from the flour, we generate bread. It is a continuous loop there. So guys, I think for right now, this video, I'm going to stop this video for the time being here. Just showcasing you how to build a town and foundation. It's a quick little pace city. It's an organic based city. And I love the look of this game. And frankly, it's just fantastic. We even got more people. Oh my god. We're getting a lot of people, actually. This is going to be crazy. This is going to be very, very crazy. Very crazy. Very crazy. But guys, I hope you're enjoying that so far. We're going to come back with another episode later on when I actually show you how to do more, getting into the grain silos, getting into the actual bread silos. And then from there, we're going to look into doing the manor and the church and so on and so on. We're going to cover all of these buildings. It's very simplistic designs, very simplistic build right now. But I want to teach you guys how to look at Foundation and also give you guys a sneak peek of how Foundation is. If you guys want to actually help out with the game, you guys can check the link down below in the description. It will take you to their Kickstarter page, which you guys can help out if you choose to. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you did enjoy that. That was a little look at Foundation. Like I said, we will be back to cover more of the buildings and more of the whole mechanics of the game because it's a fun, cute little game. And we're going to get back into customizing some manors and some churches, which is another little aspect of the game that is unbelievably fantastic. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Make sure to leave a sub to the channel if you guys want to see more, because I will be coming out with more of these. This is a fun little organic city builder that's fantastic. Foundation is one of a kind, and honestly, I'm actually enjoying it very much. If you guys have heard of this game, let me know down below in the comment section. If you guys haven't and you guys like what you see, let me know in the comment section. And guys, from me to you, make sure to heal. Please heal. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.